or not even marriage, and therefore a lot of absent fathers. Basically, I think we get our idea of right and wrong from our fathers, particularly, the idea of discipline.
So when you do, I mean, it's quite difficult to put that particular genie back in the bottle, isn't it? What do you do about the fact that there are, inspired by this contributing factor, that there are a significant number of absent parents?
Well, for example, I believe teachers have been, are unable to exert discipline in schools. In fact, if a teacher does discipline the child, often the parents are going around saying, "What are you doing to my child?" instead of backing the teachers up. We've closed youth clubs so that, young people have nowhere to go in the evenings. They're not very well occupied. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Eric Mercer writes, it's probably too late to save marriage as the universal institution it once was, but that's no reason for the abandonment of family responsibility that has come to light in the last few days. If more parents controlled their own children and made sure they know the difference between right and wrong from an early age, we may, that's underlined, be able to turn the situation around before it gets even worse. Dave Holliday from Glasgow now.
Yeah, that last point got to me slightly because I'm a father, absent but not by choice, excluded. My point is perhaps to raise the aphorism, Democrats work for idle hands, and what we've failed to do is get in with a better offer beforehand. What's being recommended is put these people in young offenders institutions and send them to the courts. That is mistaken because you simply put what the result of the riots is a lot of amateur and first-time criminals being captured up and sending them to the place where they can really learn the skills from the war criminals. People talk about using the army. The army has an excellent reputation as a training organisation. It has a lot of empty property these days because of forces reductions. So one of the options may well be to, instead of putting these people into prisons and institutions which are already overcrowded, is to put them on a training course with the real skills trainers who can motivate them, who can direct them, who can give them discipline, accommodation and so forth, and turn them into a force to clean up the UK. Not just the mess they've made, but when you look around the country now, we've got litter, we've got waste ground, which nobody takes an interest in. By putting a force to actually put that right, we may actually get something out of it.
Is this a version of what in the 80s used to be called a boot camp and was highly controversial as an idea, or is it actually much more attention on training of people?
I think training is the thing. We have children who have been overlooked by the educational system because they have practical skills, but they haven't got academic skills. They get put to the back, they get ignored, they bunk school. I work a lot with people who are doing practical things. We've got a project in Bristol, for example, that has cost £10,000, but as a result has reduced crime by £40,000.
Okay.
And at times when people are looking to get best value for money, I would put it that what we should be doing is engaging these kids who may be really, really skilled practically. We've had a 12-year-old rebuild a bicycle. He's been bunking school, but he's skilled. He could rebuild a bicycle on his own at 12. He's the sort of guy that we cry out for in the Brighton
and is he, was he in your judgment the kind of guy that had things been very slightly different, he might have been ending up on the streets looting and...
Yeah, we've got examples of a lad in Sheffield who is now assistant to managing a bike project who was on the downward spiral, and the thing that saved him was actually going in and working with the guys, realising that he had value, because we've got these kids who have been told they're useless academically, they're not given anything of value to do in a practical sense, and so they go on the downhill spiral. If you can actually show them that they've created something good with their hands, I like to put a point out that most of them, if they actually done into landscaping, would not be their granted you've actually done something that puts your mark on the community, that are valued by the community, and the community comes back and appreciates it. And I think that's what we've got to do with these lost people.
Thank you for that. George Talbot writes, I was pleased to hear Peter Hitchens offer as an explanation of the riots the liberal reforms that have weakened marriage and emasculated parents, teachers and police since the 60s.